A key point for me will be the North.
Yes, let's talk about the North.
Mr. Harper's approach about the North is we need to have icebreakers to impose our sovereignty. It will be very, very, very costly, and it will not make a real difference. What I'm suggesting, certainly if we need to have a new icebreaker, let's do it, but it will not be necessarily a great help for our sovereignty. What I suggest to be sure that Canadian sovereignty on the North will be respected is that we need to respect the North. And if we respect the North, it will be helpful for the North and it will be recognized internationally, it will help us. So
what does that mean?
You need to create more national parks and marine protection areas to give them decent jobs to the Canadians that are there, the Inuit people. They will be part of these projects. You need to invite all the scientists of the world to study the Canadian North because this ecosystem is in danger and we need to have a lot of scientific capacity. Then do the good things in order to help the North to stay healthy, to have then an international law respected because it's the jungle today. An international law to respected in the North.
And can we talk about Aboriginal people, because there's a disturbing trend now that somehow our contract with Aboriginal people, which is that this is what we owe to you for allowing us to use your ancestral land, is somehow a whim. And there's very little recognition that this is in fact a constitutional contract.
I worked during years as Minister of Intermodal Affairs, Minister of the Environment, to help my colleagues to come with something, and it was the Kelowna Agreement.
Can you talk about that a bit? What was in the Kelowna Agreement?
It was so difficult to bring together all the leaders of all these communities, the premiers, the different departments in Ottawa. It was not the easiest part, together on a deal. And this deal was saying, this agreement was saying, we'll invest. We had targets to reach. But the key issues were housing. To me, housing is so key. So many families are unable to have their own home. They stay with the home of their parents because they will have to wait 10, 14 years before to have a home. So then the homes become crowded and the kids don't have any space to do their homework, and you have an awful level of dropout and other difficulties of this kind. So housing, health, infrastructure, and education. I'm a teacher myself. To me, education is key. Education, education, education. And if I had something to add to this Kelowna Agreement, it would be education. I would even do more. You know that you have a program that allow the young Aboriginals, when they are ready to go to university and to have a kind of passport for them to study and to be backed by the federal government to help them to go until the end of their studies at the university. Except that there is a waiting time for that. How long a kid may wait? You are 17, 18, 19 years old. I ask you to wait 8 months to lose a year at university. Will you wait? Will you disappear? I don't want that. So I want to help every young Aboriginal to be able to be a player in the economy, and I will do my best for that.
Let's talk a little bit about the economy. The two governments you're part of brought in a $100 billion middle-class tax cut, balanced the budget, and ran surpluses for 9 years in a row, longest in the history of Canada. Despite that, there's a public perception that the Liberals spend wildly, they run big deficits, they raise taxes, despite 10 years of evidence to the contrary. As a potential Liberal Prime Minister, what would be your grand economic plan? And are you one of those mythic Liberals who is going to raise taxes and plunge the country back into a deficit?
No, 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 and I'm so proud of the achievements you just mentioned. If you read the IMF or you read the OECD reports, international bodies, these international bodies are saying that the macro management of the economy in Canada in the last 10 years, 12 years since 1993, have been tremendously good, better than any other countries. So we did a good job. If we lost the power last January, if Canadians put us in the penalty box, it was for a program that has been poorly managed. It was not because we have been wrong about the economy. As a matter of fact, Mr. Harper and Mr. Flaherty are saying that the economy is very strong, and so on and so on. It's the first time in the history of our federation that a new government is saying, never I saw the economy as stronger as now. Usually, when you are a new government, like Mr. Chrétien in 1993, you said, wow, what a mess the former government gave to us. So I'm proud of what we have done. My point, though, is we need to build from what we have learned during these 12 years and improve. And the way to improve ourselves is to connect ourselves to the challenges of the 21st century. And then I come with my three pillars approach, this virtuous circle where economic vitality, environmental sustainability, social justice will go together.
Because the real virtuous circle is the process that your past two governments set into motion, which is that by balancing the budgets, by running a surplus, by allocating a portion of that surplus to pay down the debt to GDP ratio comes down. And as that comes down, you have more money to commit to social justice, more money for research and environmental leadership, more money to help the regions of the country where perhaps people simply need the capacity to move to Alberta and British Columbia to find the jobs. And all of those things really start with a platform of sound fiscal management.
Exactly.
Now, some of that was, though, as you referred, compromised by the so-called sponsorship scandal. And now we've seen people convicted, people have gone to jail, and perhaps Mr. Martin could have more robustly defended the integrity of the Canadian political system as opposed to subjecting it to his own self-doubts and his own inquiries, which in fact are capably handled by the RCMP and the courts. Do you think enough has been done to rebuild confidence, or as Prime Minister, how do you persuade Canadians that you as a Liberal Prime Minister would deserve a chance to govern again?
I think we made a mistake with this program. It has been poorly managed, and to the point that misconducts happened. It seems that the people that did it, one after the other, will go to jail. But it's not the party as a whole. Liberals are honest people. My 75 colleagues in Quebec City, in the province of Quebec, who run at the last election are honest people. And I'm sure that at the next election, we'll be sure that with me, with the integrity that the people recognize in me, will be able to say to Canadians, we are honest and we have good ideas for the future of your children and yourself and the next generations and the role of Canada in the world, much better than Mr. Harper. If Mr. Harper wants to say that I'm a dishonest person, I will fight, because I don't think he will say that. He would lose his credibility. Everybody knows that I'm a very honest person. The same for Giuseppe. So never more Mr. Nice Guy. We'll never accept to see our reputation tarnished without counterattack. I want to be sure that Canadians will have a fair choice next time. And the idea that we are a corrupt party, I will not let that go. It's not true, not at all. We are honest people. A mistake has been done, but we are honest people.
Hey, and that would be your answer to why people should vote for you.
People should have confidence in our honesty, in the honesty of the leader. Otherwise, they may dismiss the best choice they have for themselves and their kids. And it is my three pillars approach. And I don't want that. So I will certainly give all the credentials necessary about our capacity to be a honest, transparent party for Canadians.
So before you can become Prime Minister, there's the question of winning the leadership, and best of luck in that, and thank you very much for coming in to see us at PolicyChannel.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to make my views clear for Canadians.